I have just received a product for the Odin 2 Portal that people are calling a complete game changer that enhances the comfort and usability of the device. This is, of course, the official Odin 2 Portal grip, which for some reason seems to be upside down. Also, they've included some really nice case here. Is that for the device itself? Let's just check that out. Well, it feels like it won't really protect anything, but that's very nice. I feel like I can even use that as a cleaning cloth. Nice touch, AYN. Opening up the box, here we have the grip itself, as well as what looks like a couple of back button covers. And I'm not quite sure what this is. Maybe it's a bandage if you cut your finger open opening the box like I just did. Taking out the grip itself, it feels absolutely lovely. My first impression is that feels really, really nice. But before we test this on the device itself, we first need to remember what it feels like without the grip. So I've put together a little test here. I'm going to test a game that primarily uses the D-pad, a game that uses the left stick and face buttons, a game that mostly uses the right stick, and then a game that uses both the sticks at the same time. And I'm going to give all of them a score out of 10 before using the grip, and then a new score out of 10 after using the grip, so we can see if it really is the game changer everybody claims it is. So let's start out with a D-pad centric game, the excellent Plumber Brothers, which I'm apparently not very good at. I seem to be a lot worse at playing this than I am on something smaller like the Trim UI Brick, and I would say overall this is actually quite uncomfortable because it feels like my fingers are really far stretched apart. And I don't think this device was really made for holding the D-pad. With the left analog stick at the top, this was more designed for analog stick gaming, and D-pad gaming is not really very ideal here. So in terms of comfort, I would give that a 6 out of 10. And now let's move on to the left stick game. Our left stick game is going to be FIFA 18 for the secret console. This is by far the game I played the most on these handheld devices, and of all the devices I've got, the Odin 2 Portal is the most comfortable to play this game, due to the left stick being at the top in my preferred position. Overall, it's a pretty comfortable experience, but the thing that I don't like is when I hold the device in this way, there's a lot of space between my finger and the device itself. I'll try and get the angle here, but if you see where my grip is like this, I like to hold the device with my fingers elongated like this, and then there's this gap between my fingers and the grip as they arch over the handheld. If we compare that to something like the Steam Deck, which is obviously a much larger device, when I hold this, I'm able to quite comfortably wrap my hands around the much bigger grips. And if we compare the size of the grips here, they are much larger and beefier than the Portal, which is to be expected on a much bigger device. But I'm hoping that the grip for the Portal will help to fill in some of that gap there between the system and my fingers. If it's able to do that, it's definitely going to increase the comfort. So for this game, and any game that uses the left stick and the buttons together, I think I would once again give the comfort maybe a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Let's say 6.5. And now let's move on to a game that only really uses the right stick, because it couldn't be one of my videos without some ace golf propaganda. This is a slow-paced golf game, so you can use all the buttons one by one, but when you actually come to take your shot, it's all based on the right stick. As I move the right stick down, you will see it reflected here in this little right stick animation that mimics the GameCube controller. This game is kind of an outlier because you're only really using one button at a time, so I don't think the comfort will really be changed too much by a grip, but I thought it would be good to be thorough and include all different kinds of games that use all different button combinations. And once again, just like the left stick and right stick FIFA 18 game, I find myself having a gap between my fingers and the body of the device. For this game, I hold my left hand in quite a relaxed state like this, so it's nice and comfy with good closure around the grip. But once again, that right hand has a gap, which is not particularly comfortable. So for that reason, I have to give it once again a 6.5 out of 10, as it's basically the exact same experience as before. And lastly, we're going to use a game that uses primarily both sticks. So when it comes to games using both sticks, I think shooting games are a really good candidate here. So we're going to jump into a game of Call of Duty Mobile, which runs really beautifully on this device. Let's jump into a game of Team Deathmatch so I can feel like I'm 16 again, just without all of the really aggressive Xbox Live messages. I've been testing this out for the video, and I think I'm playing against bots because they are too bad to be real players. They basically don't even shoot you back and just let you kill them. So I believe I'm in some kind of AI game right now. But let's just run around, pick up some kills. And once again, we're having a very similar experience to the previous games, where it's pretty comfortable, the buttons are all in a nice place, but that gap between my hand and the console is just a little bit uncomfortable. Hello, sir. Even with me killing everybody, these rounds are very long. So that was actually pretty comfortable. I would give that an 8 out of 10. It was nice, just apart from the little gap between my fingers, which, once again, I hope the grip will rectify that situation. So I think now we're ready to switch over to the grip and see if we can get some improved scores over here. If the score's better than before, I'll put it in green. If it's worse than before, I'll put it in red. And if it stays the same, I'll put it in blue, just for some easy readability. So let's now get the grip and put it inside. Should be pretty easy, I guess. Ah, yes, very easy indeed. And oh, that is nice. That feels very, very nice. One thing that feels a little bit weird now is these plastic buttons. So I see why they've included these nice little button covers. So let's see if we can just place those over. And maybe they actually need to be taped on. That might be what these little tapes are for. I thought this was one big tape, but it seems like it's actually 4 small tapes. So let's just, without reading any manuals, assume that's what we're doing here. And let's put one on where it fits here. And I assume we need to then peel off this little peel tab here, but it's very tricky to get off. Okay, I think I've managed to just about do it. There we go. And let's now put this in place. Whoops. Let's now try to line that up nicely like that. That looks pretty good. Now we'll do one for the other side. There we go. And now we have a really nice looking setup, which, yeah, immediately feels much more comfortable and feels like it fits my hands much better than before. So I don't really like the nature of having to stick these on here in a way that's not easily reversible. Let's just see if we can quickly and easily take the grip off and leave those in place. Yeah, the grip comes off pretty easily and definitely improves the ergonomics right away. So let's now get back into those games, see if we can improve the scores we got earlier, and yeah, let's just see how it goes. So jumping back into our D-pad centric game, the excellent Plumbing Brothers, it does already feel more comfortable. I will say the buttons are a lot more difficult to press than before. They're quite spongy now in a way that's not particularly nice, but the overall grip is night and day difference. This is honestly much more of a difference than I expected it to be. This is a huge difference, even just for a D-pad game that I wasn't really expecting. Before, when I held the D-pad, it felt like I didn't really know what to do with my hand, like it was falling off the device. There was a gap again between my hand and the device. It wasn't comfortable. Now I'm finding this grip really nicely fills the palm of my hand, so it's easy to wrap around it, and this is now very comfortable. This is a very big improvement. And if I just hold this naturally, it feels really good now. And I'm actually even playing better than I was before as well. So let's just get to the end of the level, and I'll once again give a score for the now improved grip version of the Portal. And that was a really nice experience, very different to the first one, which I initially gave a 6 out of 10. So we are going to be improving this to, I would say that is a solid 9 out of 10. That is much better, and yeah, that is a 9. Let's now move on to that right stick game, Ace Golf, because I'm not really expecting too much of a difference here. It's a game that you're mostly just holding quite casually, but let's see if that improved grip size does make it more comfortable. So here we are inside the game, and once again, just like that D-pad game, it is more comfortable, especially the left hand that we're holding quite naturally, casually, and relaxed. It's much more comfortable to hold when it really fills up your grip. For the right hand, this game you hold it in quite a different way to other games. For the right hand, I wouldn't say it's a huge improvement. It is better than before, but not really as much as the left hand is, just for this specific, quite quirky game. But once again, I am actually playing better and hitting better shots. So I'd definitely give this a higher score than before. We gave this a 6.5 before. I would say we can raise that up to an 8. It's not quite as comfortable as the D-pad game was, but the game itself is a little bit weird. Next, we're going to move on to the both sticks game, which I think will have a big improvement here. Here we are back inside Call of Duty Mobile, and I have no idea why, but it suddenly won't recognize my controller anymore. It wants me to use on-screen touch controls, and I've tried relaunching the game a few times, and no matter what, it just won't recognize the controller right now. So let's just pretend we're playing a shooting game, and one thing I've just noticed is this button has just fallen off the back. So maybe I need to check the manual, maybe I'm not quite putting it on right, but that is not very good. So I will check the manual and I'll put some text on the screen about if I'm being stupid. There are 2 more stickers I didn't use, so maybe I did something wrong there. But yeah, it's unfortunate this isn't working because I can feel for sure, just simulating playing this game, this is very comfortable. Holding the larger grip, moving around the buttons like this is a lot more comfortable than it was before. And for sure, this would be a great gaming experience. It doesn't actually fill in those gaps like I was hoping it might here. You can still see the gap between my fingers and the device, but it instead changes the way you hold it. By having the grip extend beyond the bottom, you're actually holding it further down rather than up here. And that means I'm no longer elongating my fingers along the back of the device like this. I'm instead elongating them in a different angle, which makes it far more comfortable. So this is a really, really nice experience. I just wish I could actually show that properly. So let's see if I can just quickly find a different 2-stick game to test this out with. Here is Exhale of the Crazy on the secret console, a game where we can use both sticks, one for running and another for controlling the camera. And this is very, very comfortable. I can also use the gyroscope so I can test how that feels holding and moving around the console. And this is probably the most comfortable secret console experience I've ever had. Much more comfortable than the original, much more comfortable than this without a grip, and more comfortable than any other handheld I've used so far, even more than my Steam Deck. This is really comfortable. And because it's the most comfortable secret console experience I've had, I'm going to have to give this a perfect 10 out of 10 for both sticks. I even just easily killed that kind of mini little boss monster that I've struggled with so many times before. It was easy with this configuration. So now let's finally go back to my single stick game, FIFA 18, the game that I play the most of any game on these devices. So the one that I really know the comfort of very well. Here we are, and after the great success of the Little Prince Boy game, I am extremely excited about this. And right away it feels so comfortable. Playing this game and all the handhelds I've used so far, already, only a matter of seconds into this game, this is the most comfortable experience I've had playing this game as well. This is very, very comfortable. And I feel like I could just sit here and play this for hours. I don't feel like I even need to continue anymore. I can just immediately say that's very comfortable. And I can easily give that a 9 or a 10 out of 10. Because I didn't play for very long, let's be fair and let's give it a 9, but it could possibly even be a 10. So let's now calculate all of our scores before the grip and after the grip and talk about, do we think it's worth the money? So before using the grip, we had a total of 27, which is the score I gave for all the different configurations. And after using the grip, we have a total score 36. That is a huge difference. And when you consider that the cost of this grip is only actually $15, I think it's a bargain. And if you own an Odin 2 Portal, I think this is a must purchase. I put off buying this for a long time and now I feel like an idiot. So many people in the community, in the comments, in Discord, on YouTube, told me that I need to buy this, that it's a game changer and will completely change the way I use the Odin 2 Portal. And I thought there's no way it could actually be that good. Maybe it's just a slight improvement. But I have to say, in true YouTuber style, I was wrong. I was completely wrong about this. It is amazing. And I really wish I bought it when I got the device because honestly, I don't really play the Portal that much. It's an incredible device with an amazing screen. It has the sticks in the places they're meant to be. It has power. It has everything. But I just don't really play it that much because I don't find it super comfortable. It's quite comfortable, but it's just not that comfortable to me. Now with this added $15 grip, this is easily the most comfortable device I own. Even more comfortable than what was the reigning champion, the Steam Deck. This now really gives it a run for its money in a smaller footprint. So I'm very happy with this purchase. And they even include a nice little carrying case, which I'm not sure is only for the grip or for the whole system, as it doesn't really give much protection, but that is lovely. That's a really lovely package. So if you'd like to buy this grip for yourself, there will be an affiliate link in the description where you can pick up the grip, you can pick up the Odin 2 Portal if you don't have one yet, maybe pick them both up, maybe get 10 of each so I can be rich. Whatever you purchase does help the channel, so thank you so much to anybody who does buy using my links. It really, really helps me out. Thanks a lot. For everyone who watched this video, thank you so much. Please give me a like and subscribe as it really helps out my channel as well. And I'll see you again very soon for another video, including the official grip for the Retroid Pocket 5, which I will be receiving and uploading about this Friday. So check that out 2 days later. I can't wait to share my findings about that with you, because then I could have an absolutely killer couple of consoles here, even more amazing than they already are. Thank you everyone once again for watching. Take care. Bye.